Welcome to the Profitability Leadership Podcast, where we use technology and leadership to increase your bottom line. No, I'm gonna say that again.
Go ahead. Do your thing. Yeah,
I can.
You control the recording, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Try this again. Welcome to the Profitability Leadership Podcast, where we teach you how to multiply your bottom line through advanced leadership on an accelerated path. I'm Mark Michael Lewis, profitability coach, and today I'm bringing you Billy Batt. I'm bringing him on the show because he specializes in two things that are especially important from a leadership perspective, which is one, mergers, acquisition, business acquisition. How do you decide when you're going to increase your own staff, you're going to increase your own business and grow your own business, and when are you going to acquire it? How do you go about that? What are the reasons you do that? What are the benefits of that? What are the challenges of that? Right? As a leader, this is a way that you can multiply and accelerate your growth dramatically if you do it right, if you think through it correctly.
Yes.
And the second is, as a leader, how do you integrate technology into your organization, especially this new AI world where there's 1,000 possibilities and a lot of them are kind of vaporware. They're not actually useful. Which are the ones that are actually useful so that you can use that to build your business? And so welcome, Billy. It's a pleasure having you here.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. And by the way, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Even on my birthday, I'm still showing up for...
I can't believe it. You're here on your birthday.
Yes. Well,
dedicated.
Yeah, it's for me, I've built a life where I sort of love what I do. Now, not every day is happy, smiling days, but for the most part, I love dealing with technology and building cool systems, working with teams that are building systems, and then also at the other side of things, whether we're acquiring or facilitating acquisitions. Actually, that's where we started, was in flipping businesses in 2020. And then after that, I'm a full-time single father, and I train boxing 6-7 days a week. This weekend will be a little bit less because I'm traveling, and I'm actually supporting my guys fighting tomorrow night. And then, today I'm probably going to go see my brother, do a little bit of chilling. And, I've sort of, this summer I'll say, I worked a lot more than I wanted to this summer, but sometimes things needed to get done. But I still made sure I made time for my daughter, still made time for my boxing while still hitting our milestones. So it's been really great. Once again, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Since you brought that up, I talk about leadership all the time. And I always say that the first person that you need to lead is yourself as the leader, first, foremost, and forever.
Yeah, right? There's no lies told there, sir.
Yeah. And there's two major parts to that. One is you've got a set of responsibilities in your business as a leader, which is different than being a manager or being a producer, depending on the size of your company and how many responsibilities you have in your company. And you need to lead yourself so that you're being effective in the choices that you make.
Yes.
Because too many times people get caught up in distractions. They get caught up in the minor things instead of majoring in the majors. So part of it is about leading yourself in your business so that you're effective. But the other part is leading yourself in your life so that your life works, so that you can love your life and love your business rather than have your business be this burden. Right. And this, again, comes back to acquiring business and selling businesses or selling off the visions of your business.
Yeah.
Because some of my clients love me best because I got them to sell off portions of their business.
That's not it. Right? The sellers are super happy with me right now, a deal I'm doing right now. We just
nice. Well, okay, so to start from the beginning, for someone a business owner who hasn't thought in these terms because they're so busy building their business and dealing with the parts of business, how do you talk about the idea of mergers, acquisitions?
Yeah.
How do you approach that for
this is great. This is a great question to start with. It's because, and even me, when I started my first company, I wish I would have known about having the exit in mind in the beginning, right? So I built something, and I actually ended up leaving that business without selling it because I had a major change in my life. I was dealing with this stuff. I ended up going to court for my daughter's stuff. My whole life went upside down in 2020. Now, that's also when I was getting into M&A, but I went all in on M&A. I just didn't like doing the agent. I had lead generation, recruitment, and automation company, and I fell out of love with it, and I could have packaged it to sell, and I just let it dwindle and sort of die. It's not sort of die. I still actually have clients that I work with, so I kept my regular clients on, and I didn't sell it, and I still work with some of them to this day since they've been with me since like 2018. So I've got clients that have been paying me for 7 years straight because of the work we do. And then we just went deeper on so instead of just lead generation, we went deeper on development and tech and da 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 da. But now for that question specifically, starting with the beginning and the end in mind from the beginning, like, is your goal, do you want this to be your baby forever, and you just want to put people in place and have cash flow and free lifestyle freedom? Is it a lifestyle business? Is it like I'm a moonshot business where I'm trying to be a $100 million valuation, $1 billion valuation? Now you have to understand those goals. Based on your goals is going to be your sacrifices that you're going to have to make to hit those. And then at the same time, in the team partnerships, there's a million different things that go into that. And then it's like, or are you building this to have a nice exit as a retirement plan? Or are you exiting for a certain number to buy into the next thing? Like you're building a software to exit to buy multifamily real estate. Like that comes down to where you need to sit down. Like everyone starts a business with an idea of what they want to do for that business, but they don't have the end goal in mind of where the idea, everybody gets an idea, right? Everybody gets ideas, but nobody sits down and executes, where is the end goal of this idea? Where do I want to take this, and like, how do I want to walk away from this? Do I want to leave this with my kids, even though we know 3 generations down, that business probably isn't going to be there? Like, starting there is really number one, and a lot of business owners don't even know that that's a starting point that they can start at, right?
So let's dig into this, because start with the end in mind. Start with an exit. Have an exit plan, whatever it is, whether it's to build to a certain level or to build an organization that can work without you, or to build such that you can sell it off. What are you could say, the major strategies that you find work in terms of building your exit?
Well, now we do have AI. So let's start with there, right? So it used to take 6 to 8 weeks to build a good business plan, right? Now it takes 6 to 60 seconds, right? Because AI has and you just have to think about the time collapse on that. Like, when I was building ads before back in the day, it would take me 3-4 hours to write one good ad. Now I can take one good ad and make 60 of them like that, right? Now, but I know the frameworks. Now, same with the business plan. I would probably go and do some market research even before. You don't want to just fully rely on AI, but you want to say, use AI to get some good research on your competitors, on your market, on your pricing, and get that foundation of that research together. Then once you've done the research, then you can take that research and say, build me an elaborate plan based on what you want. So like if you want to exit in 5 years, so build me a business plan to exit in 5 years based on this market research, and build me pricing models, and you can get it to give you scripts, sales scripts, marketing plans, and it can build the whole 9 for you. But you have to make sure that the foundation of that data is in that to build that plan. Then really your next step is just execute and finding who can help you get there, or how you can do it if you're doing it yourself. Obviously in the beginning it was going to be a lot more how than who, but nice. once you start there, then you can start figuring out who are good key players, networking and all that. But for the foundational, you need that market research, that data, having written down what exactly you want. So still pen to paper, having written down what you want for that exit plan, and base it off of that, and base off your numbers. It's going to give you certain action plans. Some may need to be reiterated multiple times to get the actual plan that you want, But if you really like within like 3 hours, 2 hours even, you can have a super elaborate plan that hits that milestones you can hit, and it's also based upon your actual goals and using actual market research and data, and you're not building a business exit plan that is unreasonable and doesn't make any sense, because you now have access to all the data. Well, not all, but a lot of the data worldwide, right?
Okay, cool. So let's extend that out. Let's say that I say, okay, I use my innovation, my plan for the business, my special sauce, what it is that I'm bringing that's my unique selling proposition, and
Yep.
I use AI or business planning software, and I plan out the business, and I'm
Yes.
going to plan a 5-year exit.
Yeah,
What
man.
kinds of exit
Are
are
there?
available to me? I can kind of sell the whole company. I can sell parts of it. I can stay on for a couple of years with equity. Like what are some of the kinds of
Yeah.
business sales that you find people are using?
There's a lot of different ones. I can go over some common ones that we're dealing with. So common ones is complete exit, right? I want to exit and walk away, and then you're still helping with the transition period for 6 to 12 months. If it's like a construction company, you're looking at, it could be 12 to 24 months, depending on how many moving pieces there are in the assets. We mainly focus on online businesses, med spas, and dentistry. We did start in construction. The reason why we stopped is because there's so many ways for it to go wrong, and due diligence is very costly. Now I have a lot of guys that are buying businesses. I send referrals over, and then I just walk away. So I'm still in that arena, and I know very much about those niches. But we're just not heavily focused there because we like to move a little faster, right? But now, so you have the exit completely. You can sell off parts of your shares to bring in a really solid COO or CMO or whatever your business needs, depending on your strengths. Sell off 10, 20, 30, 40% and be a majority owner. Now, you have to be really careful with partnerships. Make sure that there's, a little bit of, before I did the full equity, I would have like certain milestones over the next 6 months. You get this, over the next 6, you get that. Like, structure it out so you're not bottlenecking yourself right out the gate. And you don't want to get married before you date, right? You want to make sure that the connection and the way you guys work together is collaborative, and if something, and you really test that relationship when things go wrong, right? So you want an issue, right? You, as much as people avoid it, you want at least one or two, because you want to see how that collaboration works when you're in the thick of the water, right? When you're in that muddy water. So you definitely want that. And then, so that there is for like, relational. And then you can have also selling off parts for investment money to like a VC or private equity. They like what you have going on. You're doing great numbers, but you're not able to keep up with your goals because your overhead is raising, and you have things that you have to pay for. If you're a roofing company, once again, I'll go back to that. They have a lot of overhead, and they're waiting on insurance money, so they need to get. There's financing companies now that will finance you for the materials and the labor while you wait on insurance checks, and then you got to hunt down your insurance checks. Like, there's a whole lot to that, right? So you have that. And then, if you're just selling a part of the company because maybe there's a marketing agency and you're a marketing company and you're doing well, and they want to buy a
Part of your
piece,
portfolio.
part of your portfolio, but they also will help you accelerate. So you can negotiate that deal where they're an investor slash acceleration partner. There's a lot of ways this is going to count. Those are really most common, is like percentages. And then obviously transition, if you want to transition out. And sometimes even some sellers want to retain a 5% equity when they go to exit. So you can buy 95% of the shares, but they get 5%. And then when they exit in 5 years, they get a nice little balloon payment on that exit. So that's the common ones as it sits today. There is a million other structures. Like, the thing about M&A, I haven't done one deal to this day
It's the same.
that has been the same. Every single one, the funding, the transitions, there's not one that's been the same. It's almost like you got to work on your feet, right? So, which I'm really good at, hence being a boxer.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. Okay, well, so let's talk about it from the other side. So let's say that you're a business that wants to expand your capacity. Perhaps you want talent, perhaps you want access to a market, or perhaps you're wanting to start a new business. You want to get into something rather than building it yourself. How do you determine when it's appropriate to actually acquire a business or part of a business?
When it's good to acquire or like so. Well, I like things that are complement, right? So I had a conversation with a guy today, literally this morning. One of my guys, he wants to buy HVAC companies, and now he also has a construction business and and it's doing really well. He said he's doing around $250,000 a month net right now. It's doing really well. But he's growing at lightning speeds and he wants to add more and he has operators available. Okay, so he wants to go and get more assets. So for that side, he's like, can we get for HVAC companies? I'm like, yeah, you can. I was like, but you already know a lot of people. I said, but also check this out. What if you went a different route? I said, what if you bought a marketing agency that serves HVAC and plumbing companies? This is and there's a reason why. Well, first of all, you've built instant trust with all these other HVAC and plumbing companies through that marketing agency, and you can sort of tell who's doing really well. Now, you've also built instant trust without someone thinking you're a shady buyer and trying to weasel them out. And at the same time, you've got an infinite amount of potential seller leads, whether today, tomorrow, or in the next couple of years. And as you keep acquiring clients, guess what? You get more people that you can buy businesses off of while you're making, so you're getting paid to serve these clients to buy their businesses, and you can leverage that marketing company to grow your current company that's already still growing. So now you've turned one potential deal by switching your angle into a multifaceted monthly recurring revenue asset that's also paying you so you can buy more businesses. Or would you rather just go and reach out to the direct to seller? What route sounds good to you? He's like, dude, it's freaking genius. I said, exactly. I said, so sometimes it's not about, it's like, you know when now, but how am I going to do it once I'm ready? And then if you're not ready, and you're not ready to acquire, but how am I starting to look for talent, and what do I give out? Like I said earlier, in that breaking it out, here, you get an XYZ amount of revenue, and then at month 6, you get, 3% equity stake in the company. Because even if they're just an operator, if I have 2 or 3% equity, guess what? I'm involved, I'm attached to that company. Now, you don't have to give them 30, 40%. Couple percent, even 0.5% sometimes is enough to keep an operator, keeping your operations moving and entice them to want to get that, so they get a little bit of a dividend. They know if when we exit they're getting another little cash incentive, and they get to stay on with the company if they want, or they can choose depending on how the deal goes. So once again, multifaceted, couple different angles, but yeah, that's how I would do that if I'm looking to acquire more assets.
Okay, so one of the reasons to do it is acquire more assets. Let's say you've got a successful company in one area, you want to add another area. How about if I'm interested in getting into a particular business, but rather than building it kind of step by step, I can buy into a business that already has the structures, already has success, already has clients, and then I can build from there. How do you suggest approaching that?
So is this somebody who's familiar with the area or just wanting to get?
Yeah. Again, we could maybe it's I'm somebody who's into marketing, and I'm familiar with that, and I want to start an agency.
Yeah, so rather than starting it, buying it. Got it, loud and clear. So that there is perfect. So right there, I would just, let's say I'm into marketing. I'm already doing a little bit of marketing. I've got some capital. I want to get into some. I would recommend, there's 2 options I would actually recommend there. One, you can go and start doing due diligence and looking at buying a whole asset and possibly getting an SBA loan or finding some private money to buy the asset instead of coming fully out of pocket. Maybe instead of putting, like if it's $1 million business, I don't want to spend $700,000 down out of my own money. I want to put like 50, maybe $100,000 down out of my own money, and then find some other funds to leverage to buy that asset. at the same time, I'm going to want to hold the owners accountable. So I'm going to give them some seller financing, so that way they don't just take my money and run and leave me with a mess to clean up. So I want to hold that, and then maybe some earnout bonuses, and then a success bonus if we hit certain milestones. So making sure that they stay along. I'm going to use some funding, a little bit of my own money, and then I get to go and really deep dive into the business if that's what you want to do. Or if you just want to sit back and collect the cash, that's on you. But if you want to get in, now you can start reviewing all the SOPs. You can start seeing how things are working, especially if it's on, the company's got year-over-year growth. They're looking steady. That means nothing's really that broken, or even if it's a steady revenue. So from there, that's what I would do. I would leverage a little bit of my own money. I would leverage some SBA or some other kind of funding, hold a little bit of seller financing, and make sure that the owners and the operators in the asset are willing to stay on for the transition to also show me everything inside the business, so that there you cut that learning curve by 10x, right? So that's how I would do that if you're a first-time buyer in the industry trying to get in. That's a great way to do it. Or if, like I said, it doesn't have to be SBA, it could be private money. Or if you work out a deal where you only put 30% down out of your own money, there's a million ways to skin a cat, but as a base point, I think that's a good starting position. And at least you can start the negotiations there, but this is your way to tap in.
Okay, great. Again, nice kind of overview of the space of possibilities, how to think about it as a business owner, because, as the leader, you're choosing the path.
Yes.
You're choosing the goal. And now you're communicating it with your team. You're building it into your team. And if you're so caught up in just the running of your business and you're not thinking outside the box about, okay, I want to expand my business, how do I do it? Or I want to grow my business such that I can sell it. How do I do that? And that's the kind of thinking that only you can do, to take the step back and do that, have conversations, study the materials, study the set of possibilities, so you can figure out which one works for you and what it is you're doing. Okay, cool. Well, so thank you about that. Next, AI technology.
Yes.
I know this is something that you're very much on. What are the AI systems I can use to actually move things forward, and including how do I use that with mergers and acquisitions?
Yep. So this is perfect. So once again, it's funny because with AI, there's a million different ways to go down a rabbit hole, and if you don't have an end goal, you will end up down a rabbit hole that does you no favors. There's a million tools that you can use out there, and there's thousands more being built by the day. By the time this time now, 6 months from now, what we're using now will be almost obsolete. It's like, not really, but you know what I mean, like the technology. So like I have my app that we launched here, our LinkedIn automation app. With that, as the AI gets better with OpenAI, it's hard-coded with back-end APIs of OpenAI. Well, as the models get better in OpenAI, it will become better within that app, right? So the functionality will still stay the same, but it'll increase on the efficiency. And it's already super great right now. When it first came out, obviously not so much, but now it is. And so then there's that. There's a couple tools that I use. So I have my own LinkedIn tool. I use that. Literally got 80 new connections and like 4 different referral for M&A, literally within a day and a half. So there's that, right? So that's one. And LinkedIn's very powerful. If you're B2B, LinkedIn religiously, Facebook as well, but Facebook is like 50-50. Instagram isn't my biggest thing. But there's a lot of guys doing great, but there's a lot more to weed through because everyone's trying to look rich on Instagram, but isn't rich. So you have that problem. But Instagram is great for if you're selling like e-commerce products, subscriptions, software, low ticket stuff, and then accelerating them up into your other programs or services. Then from there, so I have my app, OutConnect, and then I'll get you a link you can share. People can show up.
Thank you.
14-day free trial. They can test it out, and I have a really good special. And there's even live trainings and extra AI masterclasses that we use. Then I use Manus, MANUS. You can use that for robot process automation. And so what robot process automation is, think about when you're scrolling around on your laptop or your computer, whatever, in your mouse, and then you're typing in things. Well, your robot process automation pretty much does what you want it to do without you clicking. So it's taking over the wheel of your computer. So you have AI, and then we're talking about LLM. So the LLM is you put in some words and you want it to give you feedback. It gives you feedback. You reiterate and goes, right? Learning language model, right? Then you have robot process automation, which is your robot software computer that can go and log into things and click buttons, input data, it can analyze stuff, so you can do that. I use that one, and then now it even builds like website templates, and you can take the code and put it into your website development software. Now it doesn't do all the full integrations, you'll still have to do your integrations, but it can at least get you the design down the way you like it. So that's another one. So you can use that robot process automation and web design, Manus. Gamma, I use that religiously for presentations. Gamma.app. I haven't used it as much lately, but they just rolled out 3.0 and I haven't looked at it yet. But
creates decks and stuff.
Creates great decks and websites as well. And like I remember one time I had to do a 4-hour presentation, and I built out my 4-hour presentation in 45 minutes. And before a 4-hour presentation used to take me weeks. So just so you know the difference, and little tweaks, little updates, really awesome tools. There was another one, because you said the business planning. Let me just give me 2 seconds. I got to find the name because I want to give you the name of this.
And as you're doing that, because it sounds like there are different functions that AI can do. One is you can use ChatGPT in order to essentially crystallize your thinking and write things for you and take ideas and expand them. But then you've got these robot processing things that you can use in particular applications. So for example, networking and marketing and sales on that side. But then
so
also
here's an example.
Productivity.
Yeah, so here's an example. So I literally got the Manus AI and I gave it my Facebook login just today. And I used to get my assistant to do this. And I said, go and find my most highest engaged posts for the last 6 months. Here's my login. It's going to go and scroll through and find all my top posts. And that used to cost me a couple $100 on admin fees. Now they just did it. I did it this morning. I haven't even looked at the report yet. I just been back to back. But it just did literally a couple days worth of work while I've been doing other stuff. And my assistant has been doing other things for me at the same time. It's like now, and the way I look at it is I amplify my current team members. I don't need to, but my team members that I keep now, I just get rid of the, like if you're dead weight and you're not motivated, like there's no reason for me to have you on my team because I can have AI that's 10x motivated. But if I have a motivated team member and I show them a process with AI, now I get 100x the output. Right? So my one assistant turns into 100 assistants. My one project manager turns into 100 project managers. And I can keep a leaner team, which keeps my overhead low, while increasing output to serve my clients and myself at a better capacity. Right? And so that's how I look at all these tools. So there's that one. So Venture Kit AI to build your business plan. We used to build these for getting loans from banks. Spins it up and it's really good. It's like $20. So $20, like a 70-page freaking market research, everything, why it's a viable, like you can put P&Ls, financials in there, A to Z from your mission statements, your values, everything that you could think of would go into this, and you can leverage that.
And it creates a great template, fills in the thing, and then you can go in and edit it and adjust it to your particular vision.
Yeah.
So
then if you want to go now if you want to go another step further, now I have these different systems and content, and now there's ways to automate these things as well. But what I do is I even have my own weight goals GPT. I got a flight booking GPT, and you can build a GPT right in ChatGPT. Just go to ChatGPT, whatever the website is, and then you can create a GPT and you can program it with your business tool, your business plan that you just built. Put it in there and say, this is my business plan. I need an action plan for the next 90 days. We're just getting started. Now it's going to follow your business plan, give you an action plan. Then you can build, like, you can upload your favorite copywriters' documents and have your best copywriter that writes it just like you. You can have it as your recruiter and have your recruiting, like your policies for recruiting. Now I've got a recruitment GPT, I've got a business planner GPT, I've got a marketing GPT. Now I have this. I'm all by myself still. I haven't even talked about my other team members, and I've built out copywriting. My business.
You can have your team members who specialize in each of those things build custom GPTs for what they're doing to set up the processes. So again, they can 10x their productivity.
Yeah, and the thing is,
so those are the main ways that you're finding AI is.
That's just tip of the iceberg. If you wanted me to go super deep, it's going to take a little more than this phone call. The way here's an example. I'll even tell you one of the things that we're building right now, and I don't care if you're an M&A person, you steal it or not. We got, I think, 45 deals on our table last week. I built a deal analyzer GPT. Before the deal analyzer GPT, I used to spend $2,500 to $3,500 a week just analyzing deals to my due diligence team. With the GPT, MIDD team, now it's reduced to $500 to $750 a week. Okay, now let's go one step further. I'm building an automated system that's tied to an app where they can submit their deals. It auto uploads it to my Airtable so I can see all the financials. Auto approves or denies it. Once it approves, it builds out a one-sheeter that goes out to my whole team to send to their prospective buyers in an instance in a second. So now, as soon as a deal is submitted, it's already been evaluated, and then it lets who submit the deal know exactly why it was disapproved or approved. Auto approval, auto denial, builds a one-sheeter, gives to my team so we can get it to our buyers. Now my cost went from $500, $750 a week to $30 a month.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's insane. And now I don't even have to look at any more deals. I look at the one sheet and I can be like, oh, this is a good deal. Or nope, see you later. Not going to do it. And then I can just go talk to some guys in my network. Hey, dude, here's the one-sheeter. If they like it, then we start our,
Then you start the conversation. You verify all the pieces. And then it saves all of that initial work. Nice. Okay, cool. So again, to prompt my audience.
Yes.
It's like, okay, be thinking as a leader.
Yes.
How do you build your business not just through your own growth?
Yes, exactly.
But through acquisitions. How can you acquire talent? How can you expand your business? And as you're building your business, make sure you're planning for the exit. So you can plan out the acquisition strategy for someone else to buy your business.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to building your business around AI, right, you want to leverage, you could say, the robotics of it, the ability for it to do a complex set of tasks that you do over and over, and either to build your own GPTs or to use the software that's out there.
Yeah, or build your own software too, as well, because that's what we do in my tech company. And one thing I'll add on to that is pay attention to what you're like. If you document what you're doing in your day, and you find out what is costing me time, what is costing me money, and how can I automate this? And you don't even have to ask yourself. You can say to AI and say, is this process able to be automated? You literally have your own little personal coach that can help you with all these things. And then with the advice, like I still have mentors, even though I have AI that I can ask any question, but I'll ask it the question before I ask them a question. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that you can ask more intelligent questions from the creative people who have experience beyond what the GPT is going to give you. And very importantly, you can train your people to work on what are they doing repetitively that they can bring in AI in order to streamline.
Exactly, 100%. Yep, and that's how we operate. And even I had our end of week call last week. We have a couple more things we're streamlining. I call this as Streamline September because we've added on a lot over the summer. Now we're streamlining and subtracting what's dead weight and streamlining what we need, so that by the time we get into Q4, we are rocking for Q4 already. So that's how we're doing it, and that's me as a leader, knowing Q4 is coming, pre-planning, setting up my goals, making sure that things are still in alignment, getting rid of the things a lot of people think addition is the thing, And sometimes it's subtraction to get you your headspace back in your alignment. So it's not always addition. Now, add when you can, but I can tell you right now, if you looked at your business, there's things that you can streamline that you're not. There's departments that are probably wasting quite a bit of your funds if you have 20 people in a certain department. There's a lot of things that can be managed better. Doesn't mean you need to get rid of those people. Maybe you just allocate them to a more efficient position. And as well, give them the AI training and build the training as if it's you doing it, so they're doing it like you would do it. And that's true leadership, if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Billy. I think I think that's a concise, condensed set of ideas that people can use to provoke themselves to look
100%.
across their business and figure out, okay, what am I doing in terms of my planning? What am I doing in terms of my vision? How am I managing my team and my operations? Yep. What am I doing in production? What am I doing in testing? How am I marketing? How am I handling my clients? And look at each of those areas to figure out, where can I streamline? Yes, what are the opportunities that I have? How do I leverage technology in order to do that? And where can I expand, and how can I design my business such that I can let go of those parts and bring in capital and free up my life to go on to my next project? So great. Thank you, Billy.
Appreciate it, sir.
If people want to learn more, where do they go?
You can look me up, Billy Batt, on Facebook and LinkedIn, and then I will also have a link for you for your show notes. They can click on a link, and they can either get with someone from me or my team, and also our LinkedIn app that just came out. And then if you're looking to sell a business, we do free consults. We don't charge for that. Like, I make money on the closing. So if you have any questions, concerns, I love to help people, and I love to, just listen to other entrepreneurs as well and just see how we can guide you. So if you need help with some systems that you need to integrate, we have a lot of different packages we can do for you, or we can just talk about it, and I can give you advice. If you need to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. If you got the money, you want to work with us, or if you're looking to exit, we have a lot of buyers in our network as well. Loving to help you out. Or if you're looking to buy, we have a lot of sellers. So that's it.
Nice. Okay. Thank you, Billy. Mark
you.
Lewis, profitabilityleadership.com, and look forward to the next episode.
Yes, sir. You got to pause that recording button.
Yeah. So now what's